Our message here from our Polestar Day, how we call it here in LA, it's I think a very positive, good one. We have two major parts here. One, of course, the great news about the product rollout, and the other part about what work we have done over the last summer about the business plan. Obviously, making that a strong, resilient business plan, which means clear view on the break-even, cash flow break-even, 2025. So what I would call in a very short distance, very much in sight, 2025 cash flow break-even, and the funding need that is needed from today till this break-even, a very clear defined amount of 1.3 billion, which we want to cover with a mix of debt and equity. So what I would call a very manageable funding need. These two are the key cornerstones of this business plan, which I think everybody would acknowledge is not based on dreamy, fancy production numbers, but really a very realistic and achievable volume.
Thomas, let me jump in and ask you about those production numbers, because you've scaled back your 2023 production forecast a couple of times already. Now you expect to make 60,000 vehicles in total this year, but you need to get up to, I think, 155,000 by 2025. How are you going to make that leap from 60 to 155 in the next couple of years?
Well, yesterday people were queuing to get a ride along in our Polestar 3 SUV and in the SUV coupe, the Polestar 4. Both cars are ready to go out. The Polestar 4 actually has production start next week. The Polestar 3 will start production early 2024. So 2024, we will get these two cars in our hands. 25 will be a year where they will be fully in customer delivery, plus the Polestar 5 joining. So three great cars in the exclusive segment. So this product lineup, of course, is a big reason for our increase of volume in this period.
Thomas, you just called your products exclusive. What we've seen today is Richemont, the owner of Cartier, warning that they are seeing a significant consumer slowdown at the upper end. You've got Diageo warning that its premium products are starting to hit price resistance. We're seeing it all across the luxury sector at the moment, that the consumer is saying, I can't afford that anymore, even the upper end consumer. Are you seeing any evidence of that? Are exclusive EV products going to face the same headwinds that the rest of the luxury sector might be seeing at the moment?
I think it's very important to put that in perspective. I think there's no doubt that the long-term success of electrification is given. The only way of CO2 emission reduction is via EVs. Transition from combustion engine to EVs is a clear path forward. Short-term, economic fluctuations. The industry has seen that over decades. I think the real question is, how resilient are you as a business to go through those? And I think us having presented this business plan is a clear testimony of Polestar being on the side of the winners to go through those downsides and just simply be resilient enough to get out as a winner in that. So for that reason, I don't think there's any question about the EV success in the long term.
Thomas, you've just talked to us about your new business plan that you presented and said you need $1.3 billion. You're very specific about what you need to be cash flow break even in 2025. You need that externally, that funding. Are you in talks with any external investors? What kind of outside investors do you want to hook up with? And has anyone expressed interest?
Well, look, we were always very clear about the openness to attract outside investors. Our two main shareholders who have been and will be very supportive in our business, of course, will stay with us, but they are very willing to have others participating in the ownership of Polestar, and that's how we plan ahead.
So Volvo and Geely, do you think the other investors, could they come from China? Are you in talks with other Chinese investors?
No, we are worldwide pitching for this, so there's certainly no preference in any regional destination where these people should come from. No, we are here, obviously, today in the US. We have US production with the Polestar 3 starting. I think that is as well a very clear sign that we are an international business open to international investment.
Thomas, you flagged the fact that you have US production. President Biden has, within the last couple of days, signaled his support for the UAW to start targeting businesses like Tesla. He thinks that maybe that's the next place that they should be looking. What do you think about your labor? Do you think you could be facing strikes? Do you think you could be facing a union push? Do you think this is going to be something that pulls in the whole of the automotive sector in the United States?
Well, not really that much the question to us, because we have a very simple way of having basically no manufacturing footprint on our own. We have contract manufacturing with our big partners in that. Obviously, the Volvo factory in Ridgeville, we have production together with Geely. And this is where, of course, this question you have now should be targeted. We are very well familiar with factories, with unions. We have, obviously, in Sweden, a very strong base as well with manufacturing in Volvo. So I think that's really no question mark from our side onto that.
What is the Polestar, the unique selling point? Because, some brands, Porsche is about, speed and sports cars. Mercedes is about kind of luxury and status. Volvo is about, safety and family, at least for me. What is Polestar about?
Polestar main differentiator clearly is our design focus. It's a brand with strongest design as advanced as its technology. That's our slogan. And I think yesterday at our Polestar Day, when you see the lineup of the beautiful cars and how innovation is brought to the customer through our design, made it really desirable. I mean, that is how we think electrification will succeed. Cars that really people are passionate about. And what is the greatest driver for passion is clearly the design aspect of it. So if you ask us to narrow it down to that one aspect, it's design.
Thomas, great to catch up. Really appreciate you joining us from Los Angeles. Thomas Ingenlath of Polestar. And of course, our thanks to Bloomberg's Matt Miller.
All right. Well, if you were just joining us here, you were just listening to Matt Miller and Guy Johnson. They were interviewing the CEO of Polestar. And Matt, I believe that you've driven a Polestar recently. Can you tell us about two?
Yeah. So,
Really?
I drove the Polestar 1 was, I think, really amazing from a design perspective. It checked every box, and it was cool in that it was a hybrid and it had manually adjustable Öhlins suspension. That's something you don't see in cars these days. 2, it's not terribly luxurious. It's not over-engineered, and it's $50,000 in white. So it's a concern.